Hey, good afternoon. This is your official welcome back for the 23-24 school year. I will be brief because I know as a parent myself, I'm getting a number of welcome back emails from the buildings. So I just want to touch on a few things. So again, I'll be brief. First one, I just can't believe summer's over and we're already transitioning back to the start of school. So Wednesday will be the first day for students. Staff report on Monday, and we're going to hit the ground running. And speaking of Monday, we have a speaker that's coming in to do our opening institute, who has also offered to do a presentation in the evening for our coaches, our parents, and our athletes about using a positive praise and to develop a mentally strong athlete. And that's open to, again, all our parents, our coaches, and our students. But also open it up to the Mid-Atlantic Conference. So I'm expecting a good turnout for that. So if you are free Monday, there is no charge. Feel free to come to that and take that in. It's 6 p.m. Dunlap High School Auditorium. Second item I have has to do with residency. And I put my glasses on here so I could read this. But as you know, we've had several announcements go out regarding residency. We're basically moved from a standard model that was very much manual in practice to an automated system using a program called ClearBatch. And ClearBatch does several different comparisons and basically provides us with a list of those that need further documentation to support their residency claim, because by Illinois school code, we have to verify residency, first of all, and secondly, you have to live within the boundaries of our district to attend here. So we've had, I think, up to as many as 8 different correspondences go out to the various families regarding residency. If your household was identified by the ClearBatch system as having inconsistent or insufficient public records, or if you don't have a current lease on file, obviously you've been notified that you needed to provide this, and the cutoff was actually last Tuesday. If you're one of those families and you have not responded and taken care of this, be similar to what we did last spring. If your student is sent to school on Wednesday and we don't have the proper documentation to show that they should be attending here as residents of our district, you will be asked to either provide that or come pick up your child and take them home. So please get that squared away before Wednesday. Again, this isn't the first. This has been mentioned. There's been 8 different communications sent out from various people regarding this. So please address it accordingly. Another thing I want you to take note of this year, with COVID and attendance and moving away from COVID last year, we were still pretty flexible with attendance, especially at the lower grades. But the reality is we need your students here in order to educate them and here on a regular basis. So we are going to be a little less flexible, a little more stringent about attendance and making sure those students are here and attending when they're needed to be. So you will see a greater level of communication from the buildings in regards to attendance if your child is one that's missing a number of days of school. We really need them here in order to do our jobs effectively, and it's what's best for them as well. The last item, and this is only for high school parents. So if you are an elementary or middle school parent, to be honest, you can kind of just click this off right now because it doesn't apply to you. So thank you for your time, but I'll finish with this and be done. So there'll be no more information. But there's been some confusion about an email correspondence that went out from the high school office regarding the Advanced Placement Act. And I wanted to clarify that. I know Mrs. Caslett has sent a clarifying email already, but I wanted to kind of clarify it a little bit more. Basically, it doesn't really have much to do with Dunlap High School. We've been doing this for really 3 years now, and that is removing barriers of students to take advanced or higher level courses. Qualifying scores, prerequisites, things of this nature. Again, high school level type stuff. There was legislation passed called this Advanced Placement Act. And really, there's 5 different tests that we have to get the data from. The IAR, which is the Illinois Assessment of Readiness, the Illinois Science Assessment, PSAT 8-9, PSAT 10, and the SAT. And if you basically met or exceeded in certain areas, and I won't go into all the details of that, your child could be automatically advanced to the next course. No barriers. And the reason a lot of this is out of some of the suburban schools and Chicago public schools. Especially some of the suburban schools, they have very strict prerequisites. You had to take this course and attain this grade in order to take the next course. And this removes those. So if you don't have those, but you score well on one of these standardized tests, you can jump automatically by legislation from the General Assembly into these courses. Well, again, we've already removed the vast majority of those for our students anyway. And secondly, as a parent myself, I know my child's strengths. I know their weaknesses. I know their academic history. I know the conversations I've had with teachers and administrators and counselors. And when I worked with them to develop, and with my child to develop her schedule for the coming year, I took all that information that I had from that history and made the best informed decision with her and that information as far as courses that were going to fit her appropriately for her the coming year. So these conversations have already been had to a certain extent, but I'm much more confident in my ability as a parent, my knowledge of my child, and what they can or cannot handle, plus all the other stuff they have outside of the school day. And there's only so many hours in a day to make a decision academically for them versus what this one of these standardized tests tell me should be the next course. So again, that's really what this is. That communication that went out was just letting you know we're required to do it. We're way ahead of the curve on this anyway. And the reality is I didn't change a thing on my child's schedule because I'd already done all that, worked through it, and I know my kid better than some assessment does. But as a parent, you do have rights. And if you want to change some things, you need to let the office know, but understanding that, it could affect their schedule. The big question I've received is, well, why wasn't this done earlier? Why are we waiting till the last minute? Well, again, we have 5 different tests that we had to get test results from in order to make this happen. And we just got those in at the end of July, first part of August. So it's not like we've been sitting on this data and twiddling our thumbs. Mrs. Caslett did what she could, given the information that she had. A lot of it goes to implementation, and our legislators not thinking of how this actually affects practitioners in the field. It's, the ready, fire, aim approach, which unfortunately doesn't work real well in practice. So I, again, apologize for the confusion, but I wanted to clarify exactly what the Advanced Placement Act was and what it wasn't and what it will or will not do. If you have questions, feel free to contact the high school office, the counselor, and they can certainly work through that with you. But that is my opinion as the superintendent and also as a parent. So that's all I have. Thank you for listening. Let's off to a wonderful year, let's hope, and get everything started. And I will see you around. Take care.